Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. Let's take a look at the chart, start with the big picture, work our way into the day itself. Last week, pushed through. I think the significant development was just above 150.22. The fact that we closed above that mostly horizontal channel top by the required 1% margin set up the 174.88 rising. This is about almost a 2-year channel top at 174.88 that can contain annual buying pressures, and we expect it over the next 2 to 3 months or sooner. And the fact that we also closed last week above the 153.13 previous all-time high from last January does help and does support, of course, 174.88 as an objective. Now, working upside, we do have this channel top at 158.39 that we've been pushing through modestly. We even closed above it modestly, by a very narrow margin, and this can happen. I'm going to say that it's containing the market, but in a kind of a sloppy way. I think if we can close today above 158.39, and that would be pretty much above the recent highs over the last 2 days. Not quite. I don't have that marked, actually. I know that yesterday's high was 158.66. So I think today, if we close clearly above 158.39, that does set off a secondary buy signal. On an intraday basis, if we open above 158.39, we could see 162.54 today, which is an intraday resistance level, and that is nothing more than a trend line against the highs since the April low. It can contain intraday, possibly daily buying pressure. So from our perspective, we're presenting the two levels that are respected on the way up right now to 174.78. And yes, if we close today above 162.54, by the end of next week, we actually could see our 174.88 objective. 174.88 is an area to take profits if you've been long the last few days, the last week or so of trade following that most recent buy signal. It is an area to take profits and perhaps consider playing the short side as we push into the mid 170s. We could top out here perhaps through the rest of the year. And so I will say once again that just closing above 158.39 today, and I think by a wider margin, let's just give it 50 cents, because I know then we will have closed above last Friday's high, and that should provide the clearing for 174.78 over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And yes, if we close above 162.54 over the next day or two, we should see 174.78 within a couple of weeks. And that is sort of the framework. What to do in this area? Should you sell 158.39? I think if you're an aggressive day trader, a 2 to 3 day swing trader, you can sell 158.39 provided we clearly open below it. We closed Friday at 157.99, so it is quite possible we'll open below 158.39. That could contain daily highs, and from there we can ease back to 153.13 on an intraday basis, perhaps. 153.13, the beginning of a zone down to 150.22 that can absorb selling through July into August, and above which 174.88 remains a 2 to 3 month target. So if we slip into that 150.22 to 153.13 area, if you're short, you want to cover a short position, and if you've done nothing or you're looking to go long, that is your cue.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Try it all free for 5 days. Cancel at any time.
Once again, upside, I'm going to say it one more time before I move to the downside more clearly. A settlement today above 158.39, and the further we are away from that, the easier it becomes for this market to continue higher. So I would like to see a settlement, another 50 cents higher, 158.90. I'm just kind of throwing a number out there that, if settled above, should yield 174.78 over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Now, if we do fall apart, and I don't see this today, but if by the end of the week we close back below 150.22, I then see, we've got 146.60. So let me nuance this just a bit. 146.60 is an inside 4-week channel bottom that's actually pushing into the low 150s by the end of the week anyway. And so while it's 146.60 today, in all likelihood, by the time we would actually close below 150.22, which I don't see happening over the next few days, but if it did, it would be later in the week, by which point 146.60 becomes a range. So I guess I'm going to re-clarify and say that at this stage, I only expect 135.80 unless we close below the 146.60 channel bottom, which will be in the low 150s anyway over the next 3 to 5 days. So there's that. So I guess the reason I clarified that is, if we did close today, for instance, Tuesday, below 150.22, that would only set up 146.60, the channel bottom that we show once again here, within a day or two. But as we continue into later week, those two converge, and so it does become truthful that if we did close, say, the week Friday below 150.22, 135.80 becomes our next 1 to 2 week objective. And that is a meaningful, almost 3-month channel bottom that can absorb selling on a monthly basis, and that's a long time for NVIDIA. From 135.80, we could actually rotate up and on to new highs within 3 to 5 weeks of testing 135.80. I don't see a compelling reason to play the short side in NVIDIA on a longer term basis unless either A, we were over the coming weeks to close below 135.80, or B, we were over the coming weeks to test 174.88, because I think we could top out on a quarterly, possibly annual basis at 174.88, and I don't see bullish momentum evaporating and shifting into the negative column as we move into August trade unless we were to close below 135.80. And I really don't even have a target mapped out. I do know I'd be looking for the 5/8 downside Fibonacci, which I think is around 114 and change. That would be our next 3 to 5 week target, but I don't see it unless we close below 135.80. And I suppose the last thing I'm going to say is over the next few weeks, 135.80 will be converging with the low 150s as well, making this an easier zone to pivot to the downside off of and to buy into. So rather than buying into one wide range between 150.22 and 135.80, it becomes narrower and narrower as we move into mid to late July. Is there anything else to say? I don't think so. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of our 5-day free trial. We put out 2 stock picks a week. We've had a pretty good batting average the last couple of months. We're always looking for 20% moves on those underlying stocks that we present. If we don't see the likelihood for a 20% move, we just don't present it. And what we do present are the key levels that you can trade off of, the exact conditions in which to buy or sell, and we update you over time. Every week we provide updates on those moving targets. I'm going to leave it at that. I'll be back, of course, tomorrow with Wednesday's NVIDIA, and you have a great day.